Well, hello, fellow addicts. Welcome back to Addicts Live, the best hour of tapped out information you will hear all week. I'm Alyssa, your resident head addict, and my co-hosts this week are super cranky, but he's going to try really hard not to be because he didn't get a ton of sleep last night because he was doing an awesome charity event. Patrick?
Hello, fresh off of the speakeasy. I am here with remnants of the bow tie, the hat, and the rest of my outfit. It's all good. I will pretend.
He's going to phone it in today, folks.
That's right.
And representing the Great White North, our Monday morning math man himself, Super Safi.
Morning, everyone. Hope everyone's got their Timmies and a pack of 2-4 and a double. You know what I'm talking about?
It's all Canadian stuff. That's all I can
we're talking about eat. All right. Yes, we're here today to bring you Simpsons news and Saturday Smiles. Hopefully, we've already started with the smiles. And this is where I remind you that the show is meant to be interactive. So join in the fun by sharing your questions and comments below us here. Also, if you haven't already done so, we have, once again, a few click-through interactives this week. First up, we've got this week's trivia challenge ready to go. So be sure to play along. I'm going to ask the guys a couple questions from trivia shortly. Don't worry, Pat. They're true or false this week.
Oh, no. Good. Yay. All right.
So you got a 50-50 shot. Actually, I honestly think the questions are a little easy this week. Couple are tricky, but they're for the most part pretty easy.
They're easy,
but they're easy. Yes. Second, we've got this week's poll question. This week, as a lot of speculation has been made in the game over certain items hitting, we want to know, when do you think TSTO will end? Your choices are tomorrow, 2 years, when the show goes off the air, never, and we're all doomed. And I've donned my tinfoil cap for this conversation today. So boys, with all that housekeeping information out of the way, we can get this show going. But before we jump into anything remotely TSTO, I wanted to ask you if you've all heard about this Florida Man challenge going around the internet. You guys heard about that?
No. I'm afraid. Does that have something to do with Tide Pods?
Well, no. So for those not familiar, it's a viral challenge going around social media right now where you Google the word Florida Man followed by your birthday, excluding the year. So for me, it would be Florida Man, June 19th. The results that come up are pretty funny. And because I figured you guys probably haven't done this, I went ahead and did our own birthdays so we all could see what our Florida Mans are. They're really funny. It's pretty amusing. So for me, I got Florida Man, and you Google your birthday and Florida Man followed by your birthday, and then you pick a headline. There's just really funny headlines. So you just kind of pull that headline and post it in social media. So for me, I got Florida Man chugged a beer after being pulled over.
Okay.
So Patrick, yours was Florida Man arrested for attacking McDonald's employee over not getting a straw.
That would be me. They're trying to take away plastic straws out here in Oregon, and I won't have it. It's the one thing I'm holding on to. Plastic straws, damn it.
Safi got Florida Man slapped with big mouth Billy Bass singing fish after argument.
That sounds about right.
And Wookiees were,
by the way.
Yeah, slapped with the big mouth Billy Bass. Wookiees was pretty funny. It got Florida Man sues James Cameron, claims Titanic movie is based on his life. But Riley's, I did our whole family's. Riley's, I think, was the best of all. Riley's is Florida Man dressed like Fred Flintstone pulled over in his footmobile.
Oh, wow.
The question is are these randomly generated Like, is it like something that the bot generates, or did some people actually drink a lot and come up with this stuff?
Well, they're headlines based on.
They're real headlines?
Yeah, they're real headlines.
Oh my God! Okay, well,
these
there we
things
go.
all really happen. So in my case,
God.
a Florida man literally chugged a beer after he was pulled over, and I'm pretty sure if you read the rest of the article, it says he was pulled over for a DUI, and then he chugs the beer.
That doesn't surprise me. That doesn't even surprise me. But the Flintstone one, that's really random.
Yeah, they don't call it the Sunshine State for nothing, right?
Wow.
I mean, I've seen some pretty amusing ones. So some of them are very disturbing.
These are real headlines.
They're real headlines. Sometimes you got to search a little bit further down to find it. That's Sam. Sorry, Sam is next to me. He's got a little
ventriloquism.
He's like, I want people to realize I'm still here. So yeah, that's it's pretty funny. So if you haven't done it, guys, Google Florida man followed by your birth date, excluding the year, and you for the 90% of the time you'll be highly amused. The other 10% of the time you'll be very disturbed. But there's some. I mean, I've seen some good. I saw one that said Florida man insists that needles found in his rectum were not his. I saw another one that said Florida man
and we've taken a dark turn, folks.
Hides drugs in his belly rolls.
Oh wow.
So yeah, it's some of them are really funny, some of them are really disturbing.
So Florida man 0101, is that what you meant?
Just do Florida for your case, just type in Florida man January 1st.
Oh, January 1st. Okay. All right.
And you get some amusing headlines. Unfortunately, because this is a viral challenge right now, a lot of the headlines are Florida man challenge, because you're typing.
Oh, I see.
So you got to search a little bit. Sometimes you have to go to page 2 and 3, but it's pretty funny.
All right.
But I'm pretty sure, Pat, your daughter and Riley share a birthday, so that would also be her headline.
Which birthday?
January, November 12th. I think it's Katie's birthday too, isn't it?
Yep, that's correct.
Yeah. So you could tell Katie that the Florida man and Fred Flintstone.
Okay then. Wow.
So, all right, let's get to trivia. For those who don't remember, I've been running trivia on the site for the last month or so. It started with the downtime we had, and it's been so much fun. We've just decided to keep it going. And whenever we have Addicts Live, I'm going to try to bring trivia into Addicts Live as a fun way to be interactive and really stump Patrick.
Yeah, it's really hard.
This week's trivia, I have prepared questions all based on one episode where the Classic Reunion stuff comes from, which is season 2, episode 12, The Way We Was. And this week they're all true or false. So you have a 50% chance of guessing correctly. I asked 8 questions of the readers, guys. I can ask you 5 or I can give you all 8. It's up to you.
Doesn't matter. I'm going to go fast.
All right. At the start of this episode, the family is watching a clip from Christmas Ape Goes to Summer Camp. True or false?
It's got to be true.
Christmas Ape goes. I'm gonna go with false.
It's false. They're watching a clip from McBain, or a McBain movie. All right, this one should be easy.
But I'm off to a good start.
If you pay attention in the game, this one should be easy. Homer and Marge met in 1972. True or false?
I think that's true.
No, that's false. 72 was the summit series between Canada and the Soviets.
74. The game even says on the thing. It says it's class of 1974.
Oh wow!
It's on the prize.
Wow.
We'll give Patrick. He's tired.
My class, my graduating class was 72, so I just naturally migrated that way. But somebody in the comments actually brought up a good point that would make Homer and Marge 63. Mm-hmm. So the kids don't ever age when they're 63.
Homer meets Marge in detention, where she's serving time for burning her bra. True or false?
True.
Yay! All right. All right. Homer moons Artie Ziff for his final argument in debate. True or false?
Oh,
I'm going true.
I don't think it was Artie. I think he mooned Dundlinger. I'm gonna go with false.
Oh, it's true.
It's true. I was Artie.
At least according to the Big Book of Simpsons, it says that he mooned Artie Ziff. So.
It's quite possible. Yeah.
I'm just where I'm going with this one is I actually beat Safi on one. That's all I care about. Safi got one wrong. I don't care about anything else the rest of the day.
Although Safi's gonna go later and watch the episode and then send me messages saying, "No, you were wrong. I was right on that question."
And the Big Book is incorrect.
Homer convinces Marge to tutor him in Spanish. True or false?
God, this is like my life in Spanish. False.
Safi?
C'est faux. C'est en français qu'il lui a aidé.
What Safi said. It's false. It's in Spanish or in French. It's all Greek to me. All right.
Donde está albóndigas? That's what I remember from Spanish. I remember, ay caramba, albóndigas en la biblioteca. The meatballs are in the library. That's what
you
I
don't want to know what I remember from Spanish.
La bibliothèque.
Yeah, that's right. I can also say the meatballs were in the record player. So there you go. That's all I can remember.
I don't want to know why your meatballs are in a record player.
Ándale, arriba.
That's right.
Yo quiero Taco Bell. Tongue Kiss Point is where Marge and Artie go after the prom. Homer goes too, just not with Marge and Artie.
I think that's true. Doesn't Homer follow him up there or something?
Yeah, true.
It is false. This is a trick question. You're welcome. It is not Tongue Kiss Point. Tongue Kiss Point is what we have in our games. It's actually Inspiration Point. You're welcome. That was my trick question. Marge demands Artie takes her home after she rejects his busy hands. True or false?
I think that's true. I think I remember that. I don't like Artie. I didn't even get it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with true.
True. You're right. Let's see. After returning home, Marge gets back in her car and picks Homer up on the side of the road. True or false?
I think that's true as well.
True.
True. You guys did okay. As far as the readers go, they got the same questions wrong that Safi got wrong. So,
yes.
Where it says Homer moons Artie Ziff for his final argument. That was a frequently missed question. About 50% of readers got that correct. Tongue Kiss Point, where Marge and Artie go after the prom. Only 10 readers got that correct. So that was...
I was actually going to choose false on that one. And then all of a sudden with Pat going true, I'm like, I can't pick false and be wrong and get Pat be right again. I got in my head.
So basically my trick question worked.
Yeah,
that's all I care about.
It's our version of March Madness. This is it right now. This is it. It's now. It's go time.
This is when we should do a bracket battle, Safi.
Actually, the Ducks moved on in both women. Yay, Ducks! Go ahead.
So about
schools in Springfield and see what your favorite school is. Springfield Elementary, the School for Wicked Girls, St. Sebastian, and yeah, all those.
So the one of the readers is questioning my questions and said, I thought they met at summer camp. So when I do trivia, and I try to put this on the thing, on the trivia itself, the trivia is based on that specific episode. So if Simpsons has been around for so long, sometimes things change or evolve in their storylines. So sometimes they could say, in season 2 that this is when they met, and in season 10 they say, oh no, we actually met here. That's why. So you have to base it on that actual episode, not the entire chronological history of the Simpsons.
Let's be honest, the Simpsons is fluid when it comes to facts and figures.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, if I asked you if Seymour Skinner really was Agnes's son, and technically you should say yes because they forgot about that. They erased that from their memory, but Sergeant Skinner technically is correct. So it just depends on what episode we're talking about. All right, so let's actually get the show going now beyond the hoopla. Classless Reunion mini event. It's back-to-back mini events, and the first time I remember that happening, I can't recall. I think once in the past we got back-to-back level updates, but I don't think we've ever gotten back-to-back mini events. So this is new. It is kind of lame, I'll say. It's, as I noted from the beginning of this mini event was all about the Yearbook Mystery Box. That really was the sole purpose of this event, and they threw that other stuff in there, kind of fill in around it. But before we get to the Yearbook Mystery Box, let's talk about the content of the mini event itself, as far as the prize track goes and everything. So what do you guys think about the quest line, the prize track, the overall concept of it? Thoughts?
For obvious reasons, as busy as I was, I'm really thankful that they did it, because I was done with the thing last Tuesday. Completely finished, done. Haven't looked at my screen in quite a while. So yeah, I was shocked at how minimalistic, shall we call it, this thing was, as far as the actual update. And we can get into the yearbook thing later, but yeah, it was all right. I would give it like a C- at best.
Notice how I didn't have a grade for a poll question this year, because I assumed
I
everyone would give it a bad grade.
I can't break the habit.
I thought everyone would give it a bad grade, so I was like, let's not. I figured like everything would be C and below. Saf?
Well, I give it an A++. I would say this is my favorite mini event of all time. It's
Hashtag sarcasm.
Yeah, no, he called me shocked.
I didn't hate it as much as everyone else. I didn't mind it. I thought it was a good way to just bring in a couple extra items to kind of complete the way we was, which is one of the better episodes of Simpsons all time. It was really easy. There was no stress. The prizes, yeah, it was kind of sucked that we didn't get a character with it, but overall, I was pretty happy with the decorations when you compare it to other mini events where it's like meh. But I really liked that they were really, really tied in this time. It was really cohesive, really simple. There wasn't really too much to it.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I hated it. I would just say it was lame. Like, it was like, okay, like, all right, here we go. Here's our filler. But I wouldn't say I definitely didn't hate it. I was indifferent about it, I suppose. I mean, it wasn't bad. I like getting a limo. I enjoyed that.
What we've figured out is that they're using these mini events more as gateways to something bigger. So that there's always something else going on that really overshadows the whole event itself. And in this case, it was clearly the yearbook, and so you almost forgot you had the event to play. It didn't matter that much.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, the yearbook really was, and that's why at the beginning of the event, like I think it was the second day, or even I think it was the night of the first day the event hit. That's when I had the yearbook post go up, which took way longer than I should. It should have way longer than I thought it would. And if I had to do it all over again, I would not do it all again.
I'm sorry, but all I can think of is what is wrong with her? What is wrong with her? 700 and some items. Good Lord.
I was like, this won't take long, because I had to list everything that was in the box. So I did that earlier, and I was like, oh, this won't take long. I already have the list, and it's all organized. I should be able to. Yeah, no. Linking stuff took way longer than I thought it would.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this shouldn't take too long. No.
Yeah, I mean, if everyone only took 5 minutes, let's just put it that way, just to search it, post it, clear it up. If it only took 5 minutes times 700 items, do the math, folks. Do the math.
I mean, I will say it did not take
a few minutes.
It did not take 5 minutes to link, I promise.
Oh, did you hear me? Hey, wait a minute. You just took a cheap shot out there. 2 minutes is easy math. I want you to do 5. Come on.
5 times 737 is 3,500, and oh shoot, 3,000. Oh geez, what was it? 727 or 727?
I think it's 737.
Now you have to divide that by minutes and then make that into hours. Go. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, now I want to know what it is.
I'm going to get a singing bass.
It's 100. So. Oh, 5 times. I don't know why I divided. 3,685 minutes. divided by 60. 61 hours. It did not take me 61 hours to do that.
So you're way faster. You're way faster than that. Yeah. It took you at least 8, I'm going to guess.
No, it took me probably 2.
2 hours?
That's it?
Just to link it, yeah. It took about 2 hours.
Wow. She's a beast.
Guys, it's not rocket science.
True or false? Everything the rest of the day is true or false. False. Okay, go ahead.
Fake news. So yeah, all right. Let's figure classless reunion stuff, basic content, decorations. You know, you use them, you don't use them. A lot of people really found no use for the dance floor. The limo, it's always nice to get another car in Springfield. I'm never going to complain about getting that. I enjoyed that. Prom time Homer is what he is. If you miss Teenage Homer, you got Teenage Homer too. So there was your character for some people. It is what it is as far as that's concerned. But you know, some of the decorations, they're nice, but if you don't have a specific place for them, they're ending up in inventory.
Yeah, what's weird is I've actually been able to really utilize that weird section I've created that started out as my homage to Woodstock 3, you know, by the airport, and then it has all these weird booze, and then I mean the spaghetti eating dogs ended up there. I mean, so the floor, the dance floor, actually worked out really well there. It made sense because it's part of the party. You know, it was like another booth, but it made no sense. I mean, how would you put that next to a building? It's twice the size of the high school, for God's sake. Big ass dance floor.
So I mean, let's just assume, you know, it's a nice little mini event, little content filler. I think we can all agree we'd rather have that than nothing for 2 weeks or another week. That week of nothingness was pretty bad. A lot of people were bored. A lot of people were frustrated. So I think we can all agree we'd rather have something than nothing.
Absolutely. And I feel like if they're going to stick to this 4-week mini event type thing for our main events, then I think we might be seeing a lot more type of mini events like this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because
I don't mind them because you're done. I mean, you can finish them quickly. Just grind out. So it's all good. The weird thing that's interesting, I mean, you'd think that the one way they would motivate you is that when you finished it, you could grind for donuts. There'd be some way to still allow you to earn donuts. I mean, for those of us that farm, it doesn't matter that much, but a lot of people are really driven by, oh, I got bonuts, you know.
Bonuts. That's
65. I just said bonuts, folks. 65. What's wrong with me?
You've been playing this game a long time. What's crazy is you've been playing this game for your entire 60s.
This is true. Absolutely true. Yeah, that's
just like I've been playing this game for my entire 30s and part of my 20s. It's scary.
Yeah, yeah, for 3 years longer. So. Anyway.
All right, so let's talk about the Yearbook Mystery Box, because that's really, I think we can all agree that what this event was about. It was about this crazy content, 737 items, back for, what was it, 30 donuts? Everything? Yep. And I still, because we're going to just put this out there right now, I still will not get a whale, even at 30 donuts. 1 eye, 2 eye, 3 eyes, 16 eyes. I will not get a whale.
What about 17 eyes, though?
13 eyes. If they put a whale in the game with 13 eyes, I will look at it, I will chuckle, and I will say, no. So, the Yearbook Mystery Box, essentially, in my opinion, was just Black Friday in disguise. It was pretty much everything we've gotten for Black Friday in the past, a few different items because it's been newer content added to it as well. But that's essentially all it was Black Friday content in one box instead of 20 boxes. So everybody that was freaking out about it being the end of the game, I was like, this is Black Friday. We've seen this. We've seen this story multiple years in a row. It's just 1 instead of 20.
Yeah, Christmas and March. Yeah, it was. I mean, the thing that's interesting about all these things, and I know that I've said this before in print, I'll say it again because I'm old and I repeat myself all the time. But the fact is, all of this stuff is stuff I passed on for the most part. Out of the 700 and whatever, 37 items, there was 3 that I actually said, oh, I missed that the first time through, and I really want that. And so, yeah, fine. It was great. It was good. I did that on the first day. I blew through it, got 3 things, and I was done. That was it. There was nothing else to do. I think it's a great opportunity for new players that have missed loads and loads of content. So that's really the thing, is I think it keeps newer players engaged in the game. But for those of us who have been playing forever, it's like, okay, yeah, I remember that. I didn't want it then. I don't want it now. Yeah.
I don't know if you guys can hear Sam screaming, but he's screaming upstairs. My husband came and took him away because he was next to me. Now he's upstairs and he's not happy.
Oh, we thought that was Andrew. Sorry.
Saf, what are your thoughts as far as box? Did you utilize it? Did you see a lot of stuff you wanted?
I did, actually. So, like Pat said, these are things that I passed up on the first time. But to be quite honest, the reason I did pass up on them the first time was because I was a bit donut scarce. Some of these things predate Quickie Mart farming. Now, like I have my set amounts. I have over 1,000 of every Springfield Height items. I always have 1 million Krusty Line tickets. I always have 1 billion in cash, and then I always keep 10,000 donuts.
That is not OCD, not by any stretch. No,
not at all. Just a tad, maybe.
Turn the lights on. Turn the lights off. Turn the lights on. Turn the lights off. Yeah.
For me, it's actually the microwave. I always check it 3 times before I put something in. But yeah,
that's good. That's good.
But yeah, I blew almost 5,000 donuts. I went through over 4,900 donuts, picked up about 170 items, including the whales. Yeah, so really for me, the first time round, I passed on them because they were kind of meh, and also I didn't want to spend my precious donuts on them. But now that I find myself in a position where I can feel like donuts are not as concerning, it's nice to actually get them and be able to incorporate them into my Springfield. It brought up a whole new set of quest lines. For the past year and a half or so, I've only had the one quest line for the Killy Mart. So it was finally nice. I got up to 78 new tasks in my task bar, so it was nice to run through some new quest lines.
You'll have something to do on the next mini event.
Sorry?
You'll have something to do on the next mini event when we have downtime. You'll actually still be running quest lines.
Well, out of the 78, I only have 9 left now.
Jeez. Michael, he's getting a workout, folks.
He's OCD.
He's not telling us that actually he has to go to the microwave and pull it 3 times every time he runs a quest. That's okay.
I mean, although in Safi's case, instead of compulsive, I think the C stands for Canada. So I think he has obsessive Canadian disorder.
There we go.
I'm not sure, though. So basically, you enjoyed the mystery box. 30 donuts for a lot of stuff. You got a lot of content you wanted.
You just go up to the very, very top of this page and click about the Addicts. One of the questions is, what's your favorite event of the year? And for me, it's Black Friday. You'll see it's listed that Black Friday is my favorite time of the year. And really, yeah, this is Black Friday. So it was really, really nice. I got a lot of the non-playable characters that I've never had. And now, like, I've let them all loose in my Springfield for the longest time. All my NPCs were in my inventory, but now my NPC is empty in my inventory. So it's really nice to see them all roaming around. I got the little rats running.
You better be careful because you're turning into brooders with all those NPCs. For me, I've been playing this game since 2012. So I have most of that desired content. I got it. And a lot of times I got it for free. But I've also been a premium player in this game since mid-2013. So I have a lot of content. If I say no to something, it's because I legitimately, not that I can't afford it, it's because I don't want it. So when I looked at that box, there was nothing in there I wanted except for one thing. And the only thing I wanted in there, which I passed on the first time, was the Krusty monorail station, because now that Krusty lands in Springfield, I actually have a purpose for it. Before, I was like, I don't need this crap. I have 3 other monorail stations. What do I need a Krusty one for? That it'd be great if it could go and Krusty Land. Well, now Krusty Land's here. I got it. So that was all I wanted out of that box. Beyond that, I don't like NPCs. I don't make bones about that. I just don't like NPCs. I think they're pointless. Good for you if you like them. By all means, you want all the characters, cool. But as far as all the playable characters, I have them all. There's not a playable character I don't have. So for me, like I said, it was, if you've been playing this game as long as I have, I'm sure Joe has the same thought process too, because he buys everything as well. So his box probably was only full of duplicate items for him. So, you're kind of at this point where you're like, I don't really need it. But I agree in the sense that if you are new to the game, or even if Safi's not brand new to the game, but he's still pretty, he's newer than us. So there's content he missed way back in the day, or it took him a while to build up the donut inventory as well. So that's kind of where I am with that box.
So this does open up a weird question. So what happens along with this old stuff for me is that I get it. Like one of the things I got was classified records. And I couldn't remember why I passed on it, why I didn't like it. And then I realized I don't really even remember the episode, because once I got it because of the affiliation to my past with record labels, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I thought, okay, cool. I'll put that next to the recording studio. This is all good. And then this LT Smash guy shows up. I swear to God, I do not remember this character at all.
Even at the eye, it's one of my favorite episodes. I don't understand.
I'm gonna have to. I'll have to go look it up. I'll have to go watch it.
Trivia challenge is coming from LT Smash episode.
I'll have to go look it up. But here's the deal. Tell me, what is his deal? Is he like a secret underground government agent or something?
I can't tell you. You have to watch the episode. It's really, really good.
All right. So I will go watch it. But it's so random.
That's all I can say is even at Niage. And yeah, it's a really good homage to boy bands with cameo.
No, I get that concept, and yet all of his actions are all militaristic, whatever. It's like there's no affiliation whatsoever to music in any of his actions. None. Zero. He doesn't go out and look for NSYNC. Nothing. All he's doing is like...
you really need to watch the episode, and the next episode of Addicts Live, we can continue this discussion.
Okay, all right. I will rise to the challenge. Myself and my microwave will go watch the next episode.
Make sure you're wearing your hat. Make sure you're wearing your tinfoil hat. So I want to point out something too. Safi said when he was talking about the mystery box that there was a bunch of things he always does, and one of them was have 10,000 donuts. Always has 10,000 donuts. This is what Quickie Mart Farming has done. I remember back in the day, I'm a premium player. I've always been a premium player, and when I buy donuts, I buy 100 donuts at a time. When there's a donut special going on, back a few years ago when you could buy multiple donut packages at a discounted rate, I would buy multiple donut packages. So at certain points, I'd had 5,000 donuts, 4,000, 5,000, sometimes even 6,000 donuts. I remember posting screenshots of my game and people accusing me of hacking or cheating because I had that many donuts in my game. I'm like, no, they're legitimate. I paid for them. I can show you receipts if you really want them. But no, they're legitimate. So now I'm just laughing because Safi's saying he's got 10,000 donuts. I've seen other players post screenshots with 50,000 donuts. And I'm like, this is what donut farming has done. It's kind of amusing to me.
Well, I just spent 4,900 plus, so I dropped down to just under 5,100. But I'm building back up. I'm up to 9,300 now.
But that brings to another point, because with this mystery box, EA, for all their flaws, really knows what they're doing. They've added donut farming, but this mystery box has forced players to either spend loads of real cash, which a lot of players have commented they did. Oh, I didn't have enough donuts. I didn't want to wait. I just spent money. And other players have blown through massive donut reserves to get items in this box. So it's interesting. I've seen players comment, I spent 6,000 donuts. I spent 7,000. I spent 10,000. So it's like they really know what they're doing, how to get you to spend the donuts you have, so that possibly if you're not as quick as Safi is with restocking your donuts, next event comes, you may be dropping money in the game to buy something.
Yeah, what's really fascinating if you go really deep on this is that the Pavlovian response thing that these guys work on, it's the dopamine hit for doing whatever that drives mobile gaming in general. And actually all cell phone activity is driven by that whole thing of, oh, there's the ding, I have to go react. It's that same thing. So people that totally get it. I only farm up to about 400 donuts because I know that's how much I'm going to need for the next event. Then I stop, or I just keep going. But it is fascinating to me if I look at the amount of time it takes to get to a certain point, that's what's driving. There's a whole segment of players that really don't care as much about the content as they do about the numbers. And I'm not pointing fingers at you, Safi, because you're too far away. No, but the thing is that a billion, a million, whatever, there's so much time involved until you hit that level of XP. And that level of XP takes a long time to get to. I don't care how you slice it. It's months and months of grinding to get to that level of XP. Mm-hmm. So now I get why you protect it. I mean, it's like that's the sacred thing. Once you get to 2,000 XP, that's the sacred number that says I can do anything at will. But the question is, after you've done that for so long, can you still enjoy buying stuff? Well, I think you just said, yes, I can.
Yeah.
So, but the question is now, how do you still get placated in the game? If you've bought everything that's available and you've got a billion zillion of every aspect of the game, now what? Now what's left? You just keep going.
Yeah, so what happens is once I pass that 10,000 donuts, I've been using a mix of things to use up that donuts. Like when these new events come, I'll buy the characters, of course. But also, I did spend some of the donuts on land tokens to open up more land to incorporate into my Springfield. I've used it to buy items from premium items that I previously never did, buy multiples of other items that I can now use and incorporate in my design. With the cash, I bought a lot of the aspirational items. I still have some aspirational items left to go, like the chocolate fudge tower. Yeah. But yeah,
I'm not going to ask. I'm not going to ask because I haven't looked at your town lately. But through all of this process, are you designing or are you still hanging loose and in lock mode, where you know what you want to do, but you haven't done it yet, and you've added more stuff, and now you have to go back and move the spreadsheet?
It's a bit of both. They're all laid down in areas where I want, and then I work on certain sections at a time. Like the boardwalk has always been, for some reason, it's been my favorite section of town since the get-go. I just remember that I designed Toronto into, but yeah, like even NPCs, they were all in my inventory except for the boardwalk NPCs. I really prided myself on spending the donuts on getting those characters. And now, having the whales, it's really nice to have those. When they opened up the new land, the first section of land that I opened up was the water, those 9 pieces of water land area that they opened up. So it is a long process designing your town, of course, but I do it in sections. But yeah, I always start with my water first, and I'm really happy with the way my boardwalk and ornate pier look.
And then there are those of us who have never nuked, who have all of our design intact. We make minor modifications until we have a zillion chunks of land and we build a golf course. So it's the thing that's fun is that the game really does offer something for everybody.
Absolutely.
If you're completely obsessed with numbers and getting it all, whatever, you can do that. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no wrong way to play the game.
Exactly. There's no wrong way to play the game. Yeah. There is a right way, the way I play, but yeah, there's no wrong way.
No, I think too, though, it's an interesting thing because Patrick, you like me, have been playing this game since 2012. Right. So I think there's a unique group of players who have been playing this game from the beginning and remember what it's like to have this little tiny square of land and have to make everything work. I also remember what it was like to design when you had to when you wanted to clear your town, you had to store each item individually. There was no big group storage. There was no nuke button. So I think those players, a vast majority of those players like you and I who have been playing forever, won't nuke, we don't care about having this massive expansive Springfield because even Wookie says the same thing. He's been playing just as long and I think he's nuked before, but he doesn't need all the land. So he doesn't buy all the land because you don't need it yet. I think there's like the sector of us who've been playing for so long that realize, everything can work in this little square if you allow it to, or you can expand out, but you don't necessarily need one building on one square of land. You can make other things work. And the same with the nuke button. We value our designs because in a lot of cases, the core of our design has been there for 6 years. So we're, almost 7, we're going on 7 years of playing this game. So that core design has been there so long. You're like, I don't want to store this. This has been here. This has been part of my town for, more than half a decade. I'm not changing this.
Well, it's legacy. And I think part of it is that, when you hit a certain age, like I have, you look back and you look at towns in real life that did that weird thing in the 60s and 70s, like Eugene did, where they did this urban, we're going to be modern and we're going to fix everything. And they blew out huge chunks of downtown and put in these really ugly concrete nothings that they ended up tearing out. They were just ugly. The whole downtown thing didn't work. Well, it's the same thing with our towns. Organically, a town grows from the core out. No. That's how a real town grows. And so my organic real town still exists, and it grows out as I need to grab the land. So if this was a real world, I would be slowly but surely acquiring farmland and wooded land and whatever that's out closer and closer to the town, or further away from the town. I still have loads of land I have not bought, that's why I could build a 9-hole golf course really quickly. But the bottom line is that I really like what I did in the beginning, and I make modifications, minor modifications. I'll move something around, go, oh, that would really fit well over there, but it's really minor stuff. I mean, the limo goes to some place that makes sense, et cetera, et cetera. But I think there's a lot of players, and I get a lot of emails, like this thing I did with the golf course. I got a lot of emails from people that said, yeah, this is why I play the game. I like to design. I like my town. That's really why I play it. The rest of the stuff is just getting stuff to design with. People like Ebron love to design, but she nuked her town. She blew the heck out of the town several times over. So.
I just realized I'm not wearing headphones. Are you guys getting an echo?
No.
At one point I did, but it's okay right now.
Oh, okay. All of a sudden, it just occurred to me. Wait a second, where are my headphones?
I normally on the headphone, ruler, and I didn't even notice. So
that's why I'm trying to blue dots, so she doesn't yell at me.
Let's talk real quick. There's 3 things I want to get to, but one, I just want to say, the mystery box. Is it? I mean, I think we've all decided at this point. Basically, the mystery box is Easter and the wheel from Christmas 2013 all over again. We all hated them so much when they were in the game, and now it's just every time the mystery box comes into a game, people get so excited, and they pay donuts for stuff, and no one complains. And I'm wondering if it's because with the mystery box, unlike the wheels, your chances get better once you pull an item out. If that's why, I feel like they've perfected the concept itself, because when we had the Christmas mystery boxes, you lost an item, something else went in its place. So you still didn't get a chance of getting something else you wanted on the wheel. Same with the Easter boxes. The Easter boxes, the items, did they disappear? Or was they were replaced with something else? I'm trying to remember.
That was so awful.
I can't remember either.
But I think I remember the wheel from Christmas was replaced with something else. I remember the wheel on Valentine's Day. You won an item, and then it was replaced by a Valentine's Day decoration. But I think the Easter boxes, I think you won an item, and somebody watching, correct me if I'm wrong, or listening. But when you won an item for Easter, I think the box cleared out of the box, so you still you increased your chances of getting it. It was just harder to achieve getting the content or the eggs to unlock the box.
I remember that Easter from 2014 with the blue and the pink, and you had to choose which prize track you wanted.
Yeah, that was awful. And it was all, the algorithms and everything else were all preset by the player. It was awful. Here's the thing that's interesting, though, going back to the other part of the conversation, this is another classic way of getting people hooked, is that a lot of people that are hardcore into gaming or mobile device gaming, whatever, also have a proclivity toward gambling. And so this definitely pushes one of those other buttons. If it's like, if you just got to buy it, if you just got to go in and buy it for X number of donuts, it would not be as successful, because people think, oh, I might get it on the second time. Well, we figured out really quickly that it's extremely rare that you get what you want, the best thing in the 5, on the first roll. It's extremely rare. So all of the
Yep.
ones that I wanted cost me either 120 donuts or 150 donuts, period. I figured that out right away. It's like, fine, I don't care. It's 150 donuts for something I didn't have. That's great. But everybody else is going, yeah, if I just push the button on the left side, and sometimes it comes up on the other thing, and it looks just like a roulette wheel, and I win at roulette all the time. It's like, no, you don't. It's an algorithm. Sorry.
I want to know why Patrick suddenly sounded like Julia Child just there.
We're going to cook the goose.
All right, so a lot of people have speculated when this box first hit. Oh my God, they're bringing everything into the game. This is the end of TSTO. Not only that, they also said, oh, they didn't bring Leon back in the box. That means we're not going to have Leon anymore. There is a ton of stuff, first of all, that's not in this box. A ton of stuff, a ton of characters that aren't in this box, not just Leon. So that's the first thing. There's no massive conspiracy about who's in this box, who's not in this box. There's just a ton of stuff that's still not in this box. As far as this spelling the end of TSTO, I think we've already kind of established that this was just Black Friday. When the game ends, you're going to know. And we have a footprint of what EA is going to do because they ended the game in, I think, China or one of some area in China. I think all of China, but I'm not 100% certain. But they ended the game, and in order for them to do that, they sent a message to people several months in advance saying, the game is winding down. We've disabled your ability to purchase donuts, but here's some free donuts so you can buy content you want, and you can still play the game when it goes offline, but you're not going to be able to update it anymore. So we kind of have this footprint of what's going to happen. And with this Yearbook Mystery Box, the donuts, you could still buy donuts. There was no notification saying, we are disabling this game in X amount of months. I think we're safe. My own opinion. I don't know what you guys think.
I don't know what safe means at this point. I mean, the article I wrote yesterday was really pointed at the realities of the business part of this. So when Disney takes over, there's a lot of different ways that you can go with the thing. The only thing that's interesting to me is that the ownership of this game is completely different than the property that is The Simpsons. So Disney bought The Simpsons, and as I said, immediately put it on their major mastheads. It was right there in the middle with everybody else. And it wasn't, by the way, you're right. I was tired. I was old. It's not Danny Glover. It's Donald Glover. But that's okay. I caught that.
I just think you have an aversion to the name Donald.
Yeah, it could be.
But I will say, though, with that masthead, I'm a little perplexed because Disney has a Cardinals player on there. Disney has to sell all the Fox Regional Sports. They don't own them. They also, in that video that they showed, had Yankee players. They don't even own Yes Network anymore. Yes Network was resold to Yankees, bought Yes Network back. So they kind of are saying, oh, we're going to have football. We're going to have baseball. They don't. They don't own any of that. They don't even own regular Fox Sports because Rupert Murdoch kept Fox Sports. So Rupert Murdoch still owns the rights to the Super Bowl, still owns the rights to the World Series, all that stuff. So just saying.
It could be a precursor though to when Disney actually just owns it all. So it might be like a tip off of saying, oh, I didn't get it this time, but I'm going to get it next time. So get ready, folks.
The government wouldn't let them buy the regional sports.
Right.
So, but like I said, the Yankees brought back their own network, so they don't own the Yankees. So I was laughing. I was watching that video. I was like, they don't own that.
Yeah, to me, it looked like an old sizzle reel. I mean, like a really old sizzle reel. They just threw some new images on it. It was like the laziest of all. It's like, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense, but it's okay. Anyway, going back to the whether we have 2 years, a year, whatever, nothing in the foreseeable future. Clearly, nothing in the foreseeable future. We're good for at least another 2 years, in my estimation. The show is going to be around for 2 years at least. And the only thing is that Disney is treating this like one of their best acquisitions. That's the thing that's interesting, is The Simpsons are something that they really obviously treasure. And it's not just for the reruns. Everybody's running reruns of The Simpsons at this point. So we'll see. We'll see how it all goes. But yeah, I would be surprised if we don't see a Simpsons ride at Disneyland. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm excited for that, and I agree. The game is far from over. The best is yet to come.
I don't think we'll see a ride at Disney. Just saying.
Yeah,
No.
they'll be wearing.
Different.
No, they're gonna be wearing.
Disney's so wholesome. I don't think we're going to see a Simpsons anything in Disney. The parks themselves.
Hollywood Studios, no.
No. What they're going to do is they're going to replace all the Johnny Depp pirates. They're going to replace all the Johnny Depp pirates with Homer wearing a Yankees hat.
Well, somebody actually, one of the readers in the comments yesterday on your post, Pat, brought up kind of an interesting thought process that said Disney may use The Simpsons to leverage Universal to give them the rights back to have Marvel in their parks.
Right.
And in turn, Universal would get the rights to The Simpsons. It's a little out there, but I kind of agree with it in a sense because it would make sense. But that's me.
Let's be honest about it. When you get to this level of ownership, there is no common sense when it comes to when they're playing their chips, because the chips to them are literally just chips. They don't even think in the millions and billions. It's really doesn't matter to them at some point. It's just an ego boost, really. When you're the size of Disney and you own as much as Disney does, or the size of Google, or there's you can go on and on and on, Amazon, whatever. The bottom line is when you get to this level of gamesmanship, it really is a game to these people. It is. I'll swap you 2 of these for 1 of these, and it doesn't matter. It's just exactly like Major League Baseball has become. You can't root for a team, or because the players are completely fluid. You have to follow a player around if you really want to be in baseball.
Not anymore. Just because all these teams seem to be locking their players up for extended. There's been more extensions in baseball in the last month than I think I've seen in my entire lifetime in baseball.
Yeah, but what they're doing is they're buying out the extension. They buy out so $438 million for a player, please. And that guy's saying, okay, I'm going to be here forever, right? What happened to the days when people actually wanted to be on the team and stayed on the team? I don't get it. The original Yankees. I like the way they fought. Damn you, Steinbrenner. Damn you.
Seth, what are your thoughts regarding the end of the game?
Again, I think it's still several years away. I think we can comfortably continue to play. I'm not stressed about it at all.
Is several more than 2? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying more than 2. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we had new content in 2022. So
I'd be surprised if I'm still playing in 2022. But go ahead.
Well, what? You're not going to be on Addicts Live on 2022?
Yes, I'm just saying. Yeah.
Listen, guys, I turned 40 and this game is still going on. That's my out.
5.
Remember when Riley was born? I was just saying that in about 18 years it'll be Riley hosting Addicts Live.
Yes, I remember.
I think the game's got a bright future. Addicts, PSTO Addicts has a bright future. Now we got a couple of people.
We've got a line of succession.
Who will sit on the Iron Throne next? The game is good. Speaking of Disney and baseball, I just saw Angels in the Outfields again, the new one this week, and I was surprised to see Academy Award winner Adrian Brody, Matthew McConaughey, Joseph Gordon-Levitt was in it. I was really shocked. As a kid, I had no idea who any of these people were. At that time, no one knew who any of those people were, but yeah. I love
Angels in the Outfield. I've seen that movie like 600 times. All right, so the readers think the answer to our poll question, they think TSTO will end. The number 1 answer is when the show goes off the air, which is what we've been saying for 6 years now. 43%. We're all doomed, 18%. Never, 17%, though that's the Safi category. In 1 year, 12.5%. 2 years, 6%, almost 7%. And tomorrow, 2%. Bottom line is, guys, the game's not ending tomorrow. That I can tell you. All All right, a couple of reader comments here about everything. So Rusty says, when they stop adding features and having events, that will be the signal that the end is near. Although never underestimate a big company screwing up an acquisition. Lots of us all know that with huge egos turning gold into trash.
Again, the game is different ownership. That's the one thing that makes it different. It's different people involved in the game.
I want to know is if our splash screen is going to change because it says Fox Digital Entertainment. So I wonder if that's going to change, or maybe Fox still owns it. I don't know.
No, they just bought Fox Digital Entertainment, so that's part of the entertainment package. So, I don't know if they're going to change the name Fox. That's the thing that's interesting. Will the Fox broadcasting system now become the Disney broadcasting system? No, it's still going to be called Fox.
Well, Fox channels, so like your Fox station on your TV, Rupert Murdoch still owns. Amy says, I enjoyed this mini event. It was a good standard mini event. My only complaints are that I would like a prom skin for Marge. Hopefully we will get one soon. The only other thing I wish they would change is that Skyfinger collects from jobs and Krusty Land visitors, Chippy and the Spuckler kids. Otherwise, I'm ready for what EA has in store for us next. I'll be happy with whatever they give us as long as it's new content, but I would really like to see a regular event instead of a mini event. I got 5 out of 8 on trivia. I don't think the game is ending anytime soon because there's a ton of stuff that is not in the game yet and that they could add, and the show is still on the air making and airing new episodes. Fred says, good morning, afternoon. I voted we're all doomed since I give this game another 4 to 5 years. I feel like it will end. I feel like it will end, but not in the near future. I would be interested in knowing how many new players this game attracts, since it would help me in my answer. As for the quiz, I blew it.
Yeah, it's still amazingly still acquiring new players. I find that fascinating. But
I see comments all the time.
Yep, I'm only on level 18. How do I do X? Yeah. It's pretty fascinating.
Christofferson said, Safi would be impressed. I've been tracking the migration patterns of my Krusty Land visitors to see which ones pop up and trying to determine the pattern of when they show up.
Nice.
And Christofferson also says, Patrick is spot on. I started it in the fall, and this is the greatest thing that has happened so far. I now have 270, regarding the Yearbook Mystery Box, I now have 276 quests in progress. I love it all. I look up each one to see when it was originally released and learn about it. It's been a great way to catch up. And also, Christofferson also said he spent 20,000 donuts on the Yearbook Mystery Box.
Please, Lord.
And, well, if they're a newer player, they had none of the content, so that kind of makes sense.
I'm just saying, but please, I hope they didn't buy 20,000 donuts.
I doubt it.
Cash.
Would you say you bought more than 20,000 donuts over the last 7 years?
Yes, I've spent a lot of money in this game.
I don't know what the math is. I was actually only spending when I first started, I admit, I spent probably $300 or $400 the first year or so, first year and a half, maybe. And it's because I wasn't really keeping track, and I just started the blog. I had, wild book money to play with, blah, blah, blah. And then after that, I started getting smarter about it. And it went down to where I was spending game cards and things like that, maybe a couple hundred a year. And I haven't spent hardly anything.
Because 20,000 donuts, that's just 6 boatloads. I feel like I've definitely bought 4 boatloads for sure. I wouldn't be surprised if I bought 6.
With game cards, with gift cards, I know I have. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've probably bought 10 boatloads over I buy like 2 a year. So at least 10, maybe 12.
Yeah, I was going to say, come on.
No. In my actual game, sorry. Not in the game that I used to speed up.
All right, okay.
In when I view spending money, like for my purposes, I view it from my actual game standpoint. I don't view it for speeding things up.
Okay.
All right. Jaffe wants to know, I asked this question in last week's open thread, wondering what you guys have to say. If your high school reunion was next weekend, what songs would you expect to be played? Assuming playlist only had songs from the time you were in high school. a song to start the night and a slow song at the end of the night is what he's. So about 2 songs.
Yeah, I mean, we just did high school reunions. It's funny is that back in my day, there was 2 distinct groups of, you had the metalheads that were into, Led Zeppelin and all that whole scene. And then you had the folks that were more into traditional Motown stuff. Hardly anything came out the year we graduated, 72, that was really worthy of replaying. It was a weird year. It's when the industry started shifting into mega artists and that kind of thing. So it'd be like, the Eagles, and Jackson Brown, and Elton John, and things like that. So I don't know, maybe Tiny Dancer. It's kind of weird. But no, we ended up just playing music that people wanted to play.
All right, Saf.
Class of 2001. So it was really what did we have? We had the boy bands, Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. We had Britney Spears and Destiny's Child. It was really the pop invasion. So probably start with "Hit Me, Baby, One More Time" and finish off with "Bye, Bye, Bye."
And I'm not gonna lie, that's probably what mine would be too. So
That's funny.
That or some Smash Mouth All Star or
Green Day, maybe "A Time of Our Life."
Yeah,
that's a classic song. I mean, what's interesting is I was a radio programmer for years, and so I have this giant, playlist of things you can pull up automatically. And the era is run in big chunks. You have the hair band era, you have the glam band era, then you have disco and all that stuff to throw into the mix. And so it is hard to say that what was popular at that time was popular with everybody. It's not the case at all.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, what was that Eve 6 song that Here's to the Night, I think. So that would probably play, because I think that was the year I graduated that song came out. Anyone have anything they'd like to add? Anyone speculate about what we might see next in our games?
I feel like baseball season just got underway in Japan with Oakland and Seattle. Thursday is the Blue Jays home opener. I'm going, so any addicts go into the Jays opener. See you at the Rogers Center. I feel like maybe we'll get. Sorry?
Sappy's buying your beer.
And depends how many people show up. There's a cap. First 5 addicts to find me. They actually have $5 beers this year at the Rogers Center. $3 hot dog.
Beer and a hot dog. Beer and a hot dog if you go find Sappy.
And then nachos too. They got a really nice concession deal at the Rogers Center this year. But I'm going to go with one more mini event in a row, and it's going to be from the softball game. We're going to see some baseball action in our Springfield. That's my prediction.
All right. Any ideas, Pat?
No, I was actually Googling 1972 music because I wanted to see if I could remember what we could pick. It really was a wild mix of weird music. I'm just going back to that. Number 1 was the first time ever I saw your face. Now that was a slow song. That was a great groping, long, slow song. But then after that, it's like, man, what a wild, diverse, crazy group of stuff, The Canadian was in there with his heart of gold. His heart of... Anyway, no, if they do another mini event, I think that's a fail. I'm going to call that a huge fail by EA at that point. That's just laziness at its peak. So I think we'll see a regular event. I don't think they'll torture us that long, knowing that these things, again, we're done in 7 days, 8 days if you just play it straight through. I think we'll see a regular big event of some sort. But they do a mini event, and the cranky old guy will come back out. I guarantee it.
Well, what would you want as a multi-event?
Easter boxes.
No, you know what? I hate to keep coming back and hitting the same drum, but I think they need to go back to either Shelbyville and finish that out all the way, or we need to go to Springfield Heights. We have a big giant chunk of land that needs to be brought out. Springfield Heights needs to be rebirthed.
I wouldn't mind a sports themed mini multi-event, with March Madness and baseball. There's quite a few sports things that they could bring in again.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know. I gave it all my ideas last time, and none of them came true. So.
Cool.
All right. So that's going to do it for us. We've taken up enough of these lovely viewers' time. Hopefully, Wookie will be back with us next episode, which should be April 6th. Anyone else have anything they'd like to add?
I'm good. Go.
I can tell you as well, we don't have any spoiler info from EA. If we do get it and we are allowed to share it, we will post it. I was hoping we'd have it for this episode, and we don't. But
perfect timing. First pitch between the Blue Jays and the Yankees. Let's go, Jays.
His spring training means a lot. Yankees have the best record in spring training. I promise you, they're not going 62-0 or 162-0. All right, guys. We will see everyone in a couple of weeks. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Enjoy the rest of your March. And hopefully we'll see some new content in Springfield this week. Have a great Saturday, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.